Okay. Here, do you see the axis to the bottom layer of the cube? It's right here. That gives us access to the bottom layer of the cube, or more access. The thing is, where is that? Where is this place? And so this is something else that I've been thinking, right? It's not in this cube, right? It is. You can't see it from here. You can only see it transdimensionally. And so in my mind I began to wonder, where is that place? Where is that axis? And it's not in this world. It's in this world. So like the bottom screen, you can actually see the other world. You can actually see cube A or cube B from here. Yeah. And this world is something that doesn't exist here. Okay? So this is another way to think about what it means for something to be transdimensional, right? This world, you can see it, but it doesn't exist here. It doesn't exist in this world. Okay? So again, you can see this, but it doesn't exist here. But it's there, and you can kind of see it, and it's real. Yeah. So when you're looking to go up, when you're looking for that to be removed, and you ask yourself, okay, where's the place in which that is removed? You're not really asking for a place. You're asking for a situation or a condition. But it's just that having the extra dimension, you can put situations, conditions in a spatial form. You can put them situations, you can put conditions, you can put time, and you can put it in a spatial form. That's why it looks like space right here, right? Potentialities. It is a potential reality that this plate, this roof, can be removed. It's a potential reality. Well, now you can see your potential reality as another space, right? And so that's how you can think about things transdimensionally. Things that don't exist in this world. So I'm talking about like real life. Things that don't exist in real life, they exist in potentiality. Like right now, I'm not on fire, but I could potentially be on fire if I get some gasoline, pour it on myself, and light a match. But that hasn't happened, and that is not happening right now. But potentially, like, that could be true. If you're thinking of other dimensions, you would say that is not potentially true, that is actually true in potentiality, or in another dimension, in a world in which I do not see right now, in a world that does not exist in this time or space. Maybe in this time, maybe in the future. Yeah. So like things that don't exist, they do exist in another world. And that's another way that you can think about traveling in other dimensions. And the way in which you travel to those other dimensions in which these potentialities are real is by just making the situation happen, right? So, for example, if I want to go to a dimension in which that roof is not there, I could just break it. And when I break it, I will be in that world in which that roof is not there, in which that limit is not there. So something as simple as that. Or, like right now, for example, right now I don't think of something that doesn't exist right now. So if you plant a tree, if you plant a seed on the ground, if you plant a seed, the tree that grows from the seed does not exist in your reality. It's just a seed. But you could say, yes, the tree exists, I just need to bring it into this dimension, right? So the tree exists somewhere. So something that does not exist is actually real in another dimension. So you could say a tree that does not exist It does exist in this dimension. Right now, I don't have children, but I could say I do have children. I just need to bring them into this existence. Right now, they're in another dimension, but I need to bring them into this dimension, right? So when you think about it like that, it's kind of like you realize that all the possibilities that you could think of, there's the universe, and then there's, I guess you could call it the omniverse, right? String theory, all of that. When you think about other dimensions like that, like it really kind of illuminates what the omniverse is, right? It's not just all of existence, all the planets, all the galaxies, but all of time and all the possibilities that could ever happen. Everything that could ever happen throughout all time is real. We just don't immediately have access to those dimensions. So it's almost kind of like how, how ants burrow through the ground and they make their homes in little pockets in the ground, right? That's kind of like our reality and the way we travel through other dimensions, right? We make our reality by constructing things, by making our life, by increasing our possibilities and going through possibilities. But really, we're just tunneling through a whole universe of possibilities, right? There's so many ways in which our lives can go, and we're just tunneling through, going from birth to death. In the end, you're just fulfilling one lifetime or one lifeline. Just like the ant increases a pocket here and they make their tunnels. What I'm trying to point out is that there are way crazier things that could exist. And, like a universe in which there's no life, a universe in which everything is fire, a universe in which everything explodes, or everybody's upside down, or all beings are not beings, or everybody's a robot and there's no conscious life. Or a universe in which we don't really comprehend, in which we cannot really comprehend. It's not fire, it's not fire, or a universe in which the laws of logic no longer apply. So there's all these possibilities that are outside of human experience in the human realm. A universe in which there's no dimensions, a universe in which there is no universe. And we only have access to so much of it. And like ants, we just live on the ground in our own little home, in the own little environment that our conscious mind can explore. Just like the ants can only make their home in the ground, we can only make our reality in our conscious mind, or what our conscious mind has access to, or maybe what our subconscious mind has access to, but what the human mind has access to. That is the limit of our existence. That is the limit of our reality. But hey, yeah, so transdimensionally, that's kind of what it looks like. So you can imagine this part as a world that doesn't exist. So when you ask, how do I go up there? You can't, unless you bring this world into existence by traveling transdimensionally. Okay? And now, this is the world that exists, and this is the world that doesn't exist. Existence is right here. So I guess that's another metaphor that I could use in order to understand this. There's two realities: one that exists and everything else that doesn't exist, if there was more. And you can have access to the world that exists here, but you cannot travel. You cannot travel through the worlds that don't exist unless you bring them into existence. So you can travel in this world, but you cannot travel in this world. You can travel in this world is this world. Exists navigation through the top screen, and exist option, or a world option, the bottom screen. So what world do you want it to be real? Do you want this one or this one, or if there were other options right here? So let's say if I want this one to be real, then I forget about this and travel over here and there. Now this world is real. And you can kind of see some characteristics of the potential world, right? There's that going up and there's that going down. Yeah. The other thing is that if a world does not exist for you, you do not exist for that world. So this world that does not exist for me, I do not exist there. People in that world will not see me unless I travel there. Now people that exist in this world, now they will see me. Now I exist here. Okay? If I want to not exist in this world, I have to make this world not exist for me. So people in this world, they can see me right now. People in this world, they can see me right now. People in this world, they cannot see me. So if they see me right now, but if I go here, I no longer exist in that world. See this world right here? See this world right here? Imagine there's a happy face color there, right? Okay, that happy face can see me, but once I travel here, the happy face can no longer see me. So this is the same cube, but I'm in a world in which that, so they still exist. So that kind of brings to mind like dreams and the world of dreams, right? When you're dreaming, have you ever thought about like if the places that you visit in your dreams are actually real or not? Like once you wake up, that world no longer exists to you, so it's kind of like you just disappear from their reality. And that world, that potential world, exists on its own, but you're no longer there. And so you could visit that place back, maybe. So I guess it kind of works like that. Yeah. So yeah, so the people in this world will no longer see you when you travel this world, unless they travel that with you, right? And that's the case with time. Usually all humans follow the same, they go in the same direction transdimensionally in time, right? So just because you travel into the future doesn't mean that other people will not be there. Yes, time is another dimension. Like I said, like if you break the roof of this, you will be in another dimension. But usually, like everybody follows you to that dimension, so that when you break the roof of that, when you go to that potential world, when you make that potential world a reality, everybody follows along and they're with you in that potential world. Another thing that this makes me think about is, yes, dreaming, but also, I don't want to say it because you might think I'm making a logical skip. So I'll make you derive the conclusion for yourself. I exist in this world. And all of a sudden, I stop existing. And people in that world, I will be gone for them. For them, I'll be gone. They might remember me, they might forget about me, but I no longer exist. What does that make you think of? Death. So, like I said, or, like also like I've already mentioned, I have children, but they don't exist. They're in another world. I could say that. Transdimensionally, they're in another world. I just need to bring them into this existence. That's when they're born. When a person dies, they no longer exist in this world. They're in another world. In a world of potentiality, maybe. So you could say that, like everything that doesn't exist, it's just in another world, right? So when a person stops existing in this world, they still exist, but they're in somewhere else. Somewhere else that we may have access to if we learn to travel transdimensionally. That's how you contact the dead. So, I mean, what does this say about, like, spirit, spirituality, ghosts, stuff like that, crossing over, contacting the dead. Are you really contacting your dead relatives, or is that really possible? I would say yes. Thinking about it this way, yes, it's possible, but it has another nature, you know? It's not that the ghost of the person is here, or that the person, you know, like, or that their spirit. It's more like, I don't know. I don't know. When potentialities become a reality in a potential world, it carries another quality than spirituality and ghosts, you know. Because the whole thing behind spirituality, ghosts, and contacting the dead, it doesn't take into account that other worlds exist. It just takes into account that only this world exists, and that the nature of the person changes. You know, and so now it's not that they're no longer alive; they're just a ghost. You know, it's less like that. It's more like they no longer exist here; they exist somewhere else as potential, and you can contact them if you cross those potentialities, but you will contact them as fully living. I don't know. It's weird. Maybe the way that ghosts look, you know, like the whole phasing thing, is maybe that's just a penalty for not having full access to the world of the dead. You know, maybe if you travel into the world of the dead, everybody will exist as physically as we do. I mean, your imagination can go crazy with all the possibilities and all the dynamics of how this works, you know. And I encourage you to like come up with theories and you know, come up with explanations with, you know, to try and fit this in. But this is definitely a way to think about it.